All right, so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is, tonight we're going to start with the town plan public hearing. So we're calling that to order. And we'll let, I guess, Dave Stapleton is going to lead this discussion.
No.
Or Carol.
Actually,
Or Karen.
it was going to be Karen.
So we've got 4 out of the 5, and the 5th was the one that was doing all the talking. Can you hear us, Robin? Is everything all right?
Summary.
What do you want to hear?
Well,
Everything.
yeah, we've got 20 minutes, so. Yeah, everyone, Christian, come on up, everyone, we're all friendly. Don, why don't you get close to me?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Chris, why don't you do this?
Just waiting for Karen to get it.
You want to wait? What do you want? You know, Carol, why don't you go ahead and
Yeah.
just share with what,
Okay.
maybe just the intro, and we can discuss things as we
Yeah.
go.
This in front of you?
So we started working on the town plan a little over 2
Long
years
time.
ago. A little over 2 years ago.
There's the
Began.
DO.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Began with just kind of an overview of how to get things done and thinking about how we were going to approach the redevelopment or redrafting of the plan. Did a community survey where we got some input from folks on some of the stuff that belongs in the plan and how they were feeling about things. And then just proceeded with Dave kind of leading the way with a chapter by chapter rewrite. Different people assign different chapters.
So the one thing I want to add on this is typically what's done, the towns do is they hire a consulting firm to do this work. And we decided that it was better for us to do it as a group and work with Dave, but also Carol did a major work in putting everything together. It was like herding cats, and she did a fantastic job to put the town plan together. And then we had other people that had different roles in editing and that type of work. But I want to make sure that Carol gets a lot of credit for this, for all the work she did.
Good or bad, Carol, we're going to give it.
Thank you, Carol.
Yes, thank you very much.
So I did this at the Planning Commission's public hearing, but I had read it more recently before I spewed it out really fast at the meeting. But I can go through a little bit of this with everybody.
Sure.
Well, I guess one other thing is that the reason why we had to do this, we have to do it every 8 years. And then there's a lot of things that happen in the legislature that are now required in the plan. So that was a lot of the focus of the update of the plan. I don't know, Dave, is there anything else you want to add to that before we let Carol get into it?
No, that's pretty true. We also thought the old plan was too long and too not sufficiently focused on certain things, and so we tried to shorten it a bit and bring in the better focus on the priorities. Hopefully we've succeeded to some degree, but it was hard. Fair.
All right.
Okay. So we'll start. The introduction is a section that just highlights but does highlight the significant challenges to achieving Moretown's goals of developing a cohesive community and possibilities for the development of a municipal center. Some of the challenges are the topography and the fact that there are several watersheds encompassed in the town, and nobody ever designed maps based on watersheds, which would have made a whole lot more sense way back in the day, but it didn't happen. Chapter 2 is a synopsis of Moretown's history and some population and demographic data. Some history of flooding, which is something we focused on a bit in the plan. So there's some data in there, which is, it's interesting always to look at the town plans and look at the charts and see how the data has changed over the years. We have certain goals in there, which are pretty much the same as the introductory chapter, which is supporting population growth and development to preserve important natural resources and the town's essentially rural character, while ensuring that there's a way to provide for development and increased housing, et cetera, that is needed and wanted by people who are here or in the area.
Hi, Karen.
The next chapter, chapter 3, focuses on natural features and ecological systems, and that has some goals of protecting and preserving those resources and mitigating or minimizing impacts on those resources from development, and then of course maintaining and improving the quality of the air, water, wildlife, and land resources. Then there's a chapter on our economy, which speaks to the types of employment available, the level of employment experienced by people in towns. The number of workers in town represents a small increase since 2015, but the numbers are pretty much level for that. This chapter has goals of promoting a sustainable and diverse local economy characterized by varied employment and entrepreneurial activity, and developing a community vision for the economic development of the town, encouraging business growth and mixed-use development and business development in the business and the mixed use more in Northtown and Moretown Village, the overall business growth stuff that meets Moretown's residents and visitors' needs, as opposed to actually, it seems as though the employment levels are people are satisfied with their employment availability, but people would like to have more services available closer to home, so that would be one of the goals there. Chapter 5 is housing, which, Moretown, like every other town around, is struggling with what to do about housing and people not being able to find a place to purchase a house and settle in. And I'm sorry, I'm speaking and reading at the same time.
Yeah, all right.
This isn't working. Some of the goals are to expand housing in Moretown, making sure that there's housing available for a wide range of income levels. Once again, promoting mixed-use development in North Moretown and possibly in the village. Ensuring that subdivision regulations provide for this development to happen in a I don't really want to say controlled manner, but in a way that, well, I'll say it right here, maintains the integrity of the landscape. There are some specific objectives here, such as expanding the village designation and potentially creating a development area, state designated development area in North Moretown, and then looking into ways to provide incentives for developing houses for low and moderate income households. Then there's some further stuff there, talking about accessory dwelling units, energy efficiency and weatherization, and repurposing existing buildings is something that could be explored. And then we have chapter 6 is transportation, talking about, this gets into, we talk in here about a lot of the work that's been done to repair roads and increase their resilience to flooding. A lot of that work is highlighted in the local hazard mitigation plan, which is something you all looked at very recently, but a subgroup of the planning commission was working on that at the same time. And some of the goals and objectives here are to incorporate traffic calming in both the village and North Moretown, look at other safety measures, and incorporate potential options for public transportation if we can get those going and encourage people to use them. Then there's a chapter on utilities, facilities, and services. Talks about how we handle solid waste, the different utilities throughout town, telecommunication coverage, electric service.
We talked about the broadband too, right, Aaron?
Yep, talked about the broadband, water and wastewater, and once again addressing how if there was wastewater service available either in the village or in North Moretown, that would help with some of the previous goals we talked about regarding development and mixed use, particularly in North Moretown. talks about education, which, as we all know, is something that's in many ways up in the air right now, what's going to happen with schools, although at this point it looks as though all the local schools will be open for now. Then there's a chapter on energy, which is an update from, so in 2019, Moretown drafted an enhanced energy plan, and this is an update to that plan. It's now incorporated as a chapter in the town plan. So we still have the enhanced energy plan as a standalone document, but a lot of
And
the
that
information's
helps,
been
that
pulled
gives
into
us a more standing, right, if there's any type of energy projects within the town in front of the, what it's called now, the Public Utility.
Public Utility Commission.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that having that separate plan still gives that to us, but now we've pulled that information right into the energy plan. That contains all kinds of maps, et cetera. Those haven't been updated. All our updated maps are actually right there on the wall for anybody to look at if they're interested when the meeting's over. Then we have a chapter on historic and cultural resources. Which talks about current enterprises, public and privately conserved lands, archaeological and historic resources, and the chapter goes there to speak to sustaining a high quality of life for residents and visitors, preserving historic structures, providing recreational opportunities, and protecting scenic views. Then there's a chapter on flood resilience and hazard mitigation, and that's one of the new chapters that was one of the new requirements from legislation. Talks about the history of flooding and what needs to be done moving forward with everything changing dramatically.
and we worked with Ray Washburn on that, in writing that chapter as well.
Okay.
And of course, it talks about reducing impacts to existing and future development and highway infrastructure from future flooding, continuing with our hazard mitigation planning, and implementing the actions identified in that hazard mitigation plan, because the hazard mitigation plan ties in with this chapter pretty strongly. And then we have a chapter on land use, where our previous plan had the town divided kind of into watersheds for different planning areas, and we kept that, but then also jumped a little bit into land use as it ties into the future land use map with the CDRDC is currently developing a regional future land use map. So we got a map that kind of ties in with that work with them. And that also ties into the whole new Act 250 tier system, and that's all a work in progress. So that's not addressed super thoroughly in here because it's all new and unknown, and they're still developing the rules, et cetera, for the land use.
Could I just
Yes.
skip back to housing for a bit?
Yes.
Thank you, apologies for being late, I'm driving slowly these days. I just wanted to point out that with respect to housing, and what we've really done is tried to encourage housing wherever it's feasible, and the hurdles are huge right now, cost of construction, permitting costs, putting in your septic water, the rules that surround all of that. But the new Tier 3 maps are going to make it a lot more difficult in Moretown to build housing in places where we really think it would be appropriate, because it's upslope, it's away from the rivers, and it's likely a better idea to build in those places than in the village right next to the river where we have some problems, or also potentially in parts of North Moretown. So I did write a letter, I think I sent it to all of you, about the Tier 3 difficulties and in relation to places like Moretown and rural communities, not just Moretown. And I did send it to Representative, actually I sent it to all our representatives and senators, because why not? That's like what
What you do.
yeah. So I have to say that Alex Weinhagen, who's with the Land Use Review Board, he was pretty receptive to the comments that I made, but I don't know, like we don't know what the next iteration is going to be. I just think we really need to stay very focused on what those maps are looking like, and when it looks like it's not going to be helpful to building housing in this community, we need to say so.
No, I agree, and I think it's really good that you updated this, but you put that in the plan, the housing, and it kind of contradicts what they're saying. Or not that I wish it didn't contradict it, I wish they agreed with us. But I think this is really good. This is our town plan. We know this town. Why are you telling us that we can't build here?
Yeah, and there's no, the planning commission's been very clear that we want to have a balance between housing and protection of the high quality natural areas. But part of that balance is having housing.
That's right. Thank you, Representative White, for joining us. I know Karen said she sent some. Do you want to take a moment to address this?
Sure. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yep.
Okay. And I'm sorry I can't be there in person. I was running a little bit late, but I really appreciated Karen's letter, just kind of bringing me up to speed. And I'm just here I wanted to, listen and kind of hear the issues. I agree, towns, you all have been, been through some flooding events. You know the town, you know where you think development is appropriate. So it's concerning that, the Tier 3 designation is negatively impacting how you all are seeing appropriate development in Moretown. So I'm really here to just get the facts. We'll be back in session in a couple weeks. And I don't think we're the only town that's having issues with this, but I just want to make sure I have the information available so I can support Moretown's point of view on this. And I don't sit on these committees, but I just want to understand, and then I will talk to my colleagues who do sit on these committees.
Well, thank you again for taking the time to join us tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
So
There is one aspect of the Act 181 that would be in the Transportation Committee that Representative White sits on, and that's this requirement around a new road rule and how long a road can be, how long a driveway can be. So that might be something to just pay attention to. Again, that's going to affect rural areas a lot more than, the more urbanized parts of Chittenden County and so forth.
Good.
Karen, wasn't it thought that the Tier 3 was not going to be as extensive as it was initially? That's how I thought it was sold. It was going to be limited areas, but it seems like...
Yeah, that was what they said in the legislation. Of course, then you turn it over to a regulatory board and they have their own ideas about things. You know about that, right?
No.
But,
It's always
yeah, so we're hoping that they'll, take a more reasonable look at,
Good.
second iteration.
Again, I think it's good that we've highlighted in our plan what our thoughts are. It's on certainly our local representatives' minds, and we'll have to keep an eye on it, certainly.
Thank you.
As far as continuing with our town plan, Don, do you have any thoughts on what was presented? Or, I know we've looked at it before, but...
No, I just thought the housing obviously is key, and I know Dave's working on some stuff in North Moretown, and looking into some things there, and certainly also just having the ability to have apartments, places that people can rent, not only just that we can have growth in people building homes, but being able to establish some places that people can rent, so they can be living in the valley, or living in Moretown. So it was mentioned in there, but I don't know if rental units was specifically called out, basically, but.
Multi-unit dwellings, I
Yeah.
think, was a lot. We didn't talk about them as rental units, but that's.
Yeah.
And the next step is to take what's in the town plan and then take a look at the land use regulations and see what needs to be tweaked there
Yeah.
to fall in line with the town plan and some of the goals and aspirations.
Mhm.
So these are just the highlights, the whole plan's 100 pages
Oh, I
long.
know, I
In
was
case you
scrolling
can't
through it.
They've been here reading it.
And it's still less than what it was, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it is, actually.
So I could add, picking up on Don, North Moretown, is some of you know that we've submitted a application for an update to the 2012 study of the intersection of Route 100 and Route 2, which I didn't know this until I found the study. They'd actually recommended putting a roundabout in there, which of course they did not do. But the reason they didn't was because the Hannon Home Center wanted to put wanted to use that area for wastewater. And so anyway, we're going to update that study because really the only way we can have more development in Moretown, multi-use, that we would like to see is if we bring the Waterbury wastewater across the river. Waterbury would be happy to do that. They're not going to pay for it, but they're happy to let us access their system. And there's, we think there can be funding available from the state for it or a private sector. So we're looking into that. But it's not going to be feasible unless a roundabout in that area would accommodate the increase in the traffic that would come about with substantially more development. So, we're really, if we can't do that, and we can't build in the village because we also don't have wastewater here, we're really pretty stuck with dense development. We have talked about encouraging planned unit developments, groups of houses, things like that, which we already do in our ordinances, and we can do more of that. But man, the opportunities for more housing in Moretown that are they're not going to infringe on the our valuable ecology are pretty limited. So, and I think the state needs to recognize that, but we need to recognize it too. So.
And the other comment I saw reading in which it talks about is in the transportation. The active transportation corridor that's planned from Warren Village to the end of 100B. We talk about connecting to the existing trails in there, it's done now, but maybe a reference to the active transportation corridor could have been, more highlighted, because that is gonna happen. It's just gonna take a long time. But I mean, it's talked about, promoting and, multiple transportation usage,
We did put language about it in the plan.
Yeah, I saw about the Mattingly
Okay.
path, yeah. Okay.
Are you needing more than that?
No, I guess that's good, yeah.
Okay.
By the time the next town plan comes through in 8 years, maybe the active transportation corridor will have migrated
It
into
might
this
be
section.
there some of it will be
Right.
done, yes, that's true. It's gonna take a while.
Callie, Mike, do you have quick comments?
Nothing.
Mike?
Yeah, I don't think I had any other comments. I did appreciate your letter, Karen, about the tier 3 comments. Yeah, I did give it a very strong overview today, and I didn't see anything that seemed, that I have a strong comment on either way now. I do think if the tier 3 map stayed as it was, that would, yeah, impact the town significantly. And, I understand there's a strong need to balance like fragmentation with housing, but yeah, I mean, when you already have a town road in a spot, like that's the fragmentation, right? Not the house that's like right off the road. Right, or if someone built a half-mile driveway, well, then you're increasing the fragmentation, but dissuading housing right off of a town road that's already bisecting whatever was there, yeah, so.
Yeah, I agree with all those comments, and also, you know, we go through and there's a lot of goals and aspirations, which are great, but I also like the idea of following up and moving forward, we're trying to hit some of these goals and some of these aspirations, because it's great to have them in there, but you know, when we're kind of removing some of those barriers, and you've got a good job with that. And now, all right, let's tackle a couple. You know, when I checked off and we were going down develop a community vision for Moretown's economic development. I mean, that one might be one, you know, you guys think about if you're thinking about new projects or people taking things, because that can drive other things throughout the whole process. That and Dave's almost there with what you're doing with the little project in Waterbury. That would be a piece of what that would succeed in doing. So it's good to see that we're just not throwing up things others would be good, but we're actually acting on it. And hopefully, if you guys are, you know, come up with a list. All right, these are the top 3 things that we should work on in the next couple of years to move forward. So we've got these aspirations, goals. Let's how to, you know, these are the top 3 that we should move forward on. These are reasons why, and then we can put strong committees towards them. Anyone online? I guess there's just Robin. Is there any comments that you have? Or Candace?
Well, no, I do need the comments you just made, Tom. That was, yeah, I agree with the ability that we try to fix them. But
Yeah.
I looked over before, it's expensive and well done. So thank you for your time.
So one thing I want to add in there that we talk about is that FEMA, well, USG, the U.S. Geological Survey did a study for FEMA where they're going to revise the FEMA maps. And rumor has it that has been done, but not yet gone through the FEMA process. So that's something that could happen as soon as next year, or it could be a few years down the road. And so that's just more of an FYI to let you know. So what I heard is that in the study they incorporated the 2023 flooding, not the 2024, but the 2023 results in incorporating your data. And what's interesting is the way this guy described it to me. He gave me more information, and I thought this is the conversation I had last year. Is that in some places the elevations, even though the discharges increased for some regions or for some rivers, that some of the water levels went down, and that's because we have more detailed mapping. So that's going to be really confusing when that happens, and so just an FYI. The thing is once they present it, they're not going to give us they're going to give us a very short window for us to provide comments before they finalize it. So I just wanted that to just know that's down the pipe. It's one of those things, hurry up and wait until it happens,
Right.
and then it's going to be fast.
We do a lot of things like that here.
Will that be impact future floodplain designation then?
What's that?
Will it impact?
Will that be impacting future floodplain
Yes.
properties?
Yes, could.
Okay.
And in some places, like I said, the elevations or the area can be smaller, or it could very well be larger too, and we're not really going to know until we see it.
Okay, so changes down the road with both those maps, the FEMA maps and the state maps.
Just one other comment, like the select board knows, we didn't get a municipal planning grant to do this, And so that meant that the regional commission really wasn't able to help much. And I just want to say that we could not have done it without Carol, and she was just tremendous and really like pulled it all together out of near chaos. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Carol.
And thank you, Karen.
It's good.
You're
There's
as
a lot of
well.
good work
Thank
by
you
a lot
all.
of people.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. John.
Yeah,
Chris.
the day we didn't get the grant that we applied for, I said, oh my God, what are we gonna do now? And so actually, you guys
Yeah.
agreed to put it in the budget and pay for Carol, and that just,
I think it worked out
Yeah.
better in one respect, because we would have gone
Sure.
through the same pathway, and it would have been, when we did similar things with the Regional Planning Commission, they're reluctant to change things because they like things a certain way, and we were able to modify it to be more what we want for the town.
We even kept that land use chapter the way we pretty much wanted to
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah.
No, I think we're very lucky for all our folks and what we do. Thanks. So is there any other comments on the town plan? No? All right. Corey, you here for comments on the town plan?
I'm not.
All right. Is there any other comments, or are there any comments? What we have here? So we're 6:32, so we are past our time that we had budgeted for this meeting. So unless there's any other questions, we'll go ahead and close the town public hearing. All right. See, none, it sounds like we have, it sounds like I made a motion, and Callie seconded it. Any further discussion on it? All in favor, vote aye. Aye. All right, so we have closed the town plan public hearing.
So the next steps with the town plan is if the select board chooses to adopt the town plan.
they did.
No,
No,
they
we're
just
gonna
closed
call
the
a
public
meeting to
hearing.
order, and now,
We'll do that, and yeah, that'll be a first,
So the next step after it's adopted by the town is to have the Regional Planning Commission review it and tell us if there are any deficiencies that need to be addressed. They've looked at it already and
Right.
haven't pointed anything out to us, so
we'll cross our fingers then.
yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order of the Moretown Selectboard. It is Monday, December 15th. We're here at the John Hogaboom meeting room. Salute to John, we do that usually. And we're going to start with public comments. And we'll go from there. Is there any public comments? Before you hear for public comments?
I think probably chiming in during the budget makes the most sense.
All right, so we'll get to you in a few minutes. It won't be that long.
And we are
Yeah.
again.
And it doesn't appear to be anyone online, so we'll go forward and move to the next agenda item, which is the adoption of the town plan. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the
Town plan.
latest edition of the Moretown Town Plan for the year 2025, or completed in the year 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Kelly, thank you. Any further discussion on it, by the board?
Nope.
Seeing none, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right, so, thank you again.
Great work.
Great work. Yeah, we have a town plan.
We
We're-
have a town plan.
Yeah.
And then, so we will set it off, or you can coordinate with Sasha to make sure it gets to the regional planning.
Yeah, we'll take care of all that.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Now I can speak.
You can ski, is that what you said, Dave? Well, you've got some snow, but make sure you do it before Thursday. All right, so we're gonna keep a moment to move forward, move out of the way.
Oh, boy.
Keeping you up there, Don?
Yeah, yeah.
What you been doing all day? Busy?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and move into the 2026 budgets. Yeah, year. Should we have a copy on that? Or do you want to do Sasha that?
Well, I have an old copy.
So we need to look on with yours. I thought we had a this. Oh, here's.
I always like seeing that.
Thanks for coming to the meeting.
No, I guess I don't.
She's gonna be on the select board.
Corey, why don't you come forth if you had a couple questions or concerns?
Yes, well, not so much concern, it's just confirming information.
Just a new little piece of information.
I'm working on it.
No, you're good.
You guys know Bridget, who's the treasurer of the library trustees.
Hey, Corey.
Since Nicole left, we've been without a town hall custodian, and I've been working on trying to get some cleaning services back in there, and I reached out to the company that does the town offices here and the person cleaning the town garage. And I got an estimate back from the company that cleans here, and it would be $200 a cleaning twice a month. Because when the martial arts started renting the building, we talked about the library sort of covering one cleaning and the town hall budget covering one cleaning. I don't know if that still makes sense to do or not that way, or if it should just come out of the town hall budget, but it's, I think we had budgeted $80 per cleaning in the past, so this is obviously a bit more than that. But it's within reason for commercial cleaning, and she discussed the every other week aspect and the salt buildup. So that's what I was here to share with you as far as where to put that number for 2026 and how to divvy it up or not.
Oh, yeah, it's an older copy, but
Oh, that's all right, just,
I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, I just had some.
so that you just, so that's, what, $4,800 or $4,800 for the year?
Yeah.
And I think the cleaning had been coming exclusively out of the town hall custodial budget, because Nicole was using those custodial hours to clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last year, or 3/4 of the way through this year, she was only at, it was like $500, but that's because the pay rate was that much different, so, she was not getting paid what the commercial.
Right,
cleaning-
commercial
Yeah,
person
yeah.
coming in using all their chemicals and all their.
Yeah, so whether we take half of it for the library or it all comes out of town hall, there will need to be adjustments made.
Right,
to-
either way, this
Yeah.
is the bill, how are we?
how are we gonna
I
split
think
it?
so.
Yeah,
I mean, given the fact
Yeah.
that they already clean here, they've been vetted, and they
Yeah.
have the right paperwork. They also clean the Warren Library and the Warren Town offices, so.
No, I think if you find
Yeah.
someone, I know we've had difficulties, trying to find someone to clean. I mean, even we did this and down in the garage, so I think it'll fit under our policy as far as putting services out there,
Yeah, okay.
taking services, so yeah, I don't see that being a problem. We need to clean the place.
Yes,
and,
yeah. After the 100 people went through it last weekend, the floor definitely needs to be mopped, for sure.
Anything else, Corey? What's going on?
That was really it, just sharing that news with you and having you think about where you want it to come out of budget-wise, if we should be submitting an updated budget to you, or,
Consider this an updated budget.
okay.
We do have one other item to think about, and I think we have it in the town hall budget, but as we move into 2026 and we look to see how we can maybe get the revitalization and renovation project going, whether it's 2026 or 2027, there are things that come up, and this will maybe lend to our getting back into the purchasing policy probably in January sometime. But what we need is someone, a go-to person when something happens to, fix a small minor thing. Like an example was the light went out way up high on the front porch, and it's a little difficult for
I didn't want
Corey,
to climb that level.
Corey or Karen, to go do that. So fortunately, Sasha's been in the loop for the stuff that goes on there, and the team from the garage came down and, went and changed the light bulb. But the point being that, we know how busy the team at the town garage can get is, and I'm not thinking we're gonna solve this right now, but if we can think of someone like in town who we could get that could do small little repair jobs, or like when
handyman?
a handyman,
Yes.
there's the word, yeah.
I'm looking at him right now.
Who's that? Jim?
Jim.
Yeah, well, we know that.
He's
for
been
sure.
doing it already.
He's one of the volunteers for sure.
Jim
But-
fixed our railing out here, or was in
Right.
charge of that.
No, I know. We're gonna be chatting about that in a minute, but anyway, something to think about if anybody has any thoughts about.
And it probably
something.
has some budget implications. I mean,
Yeah.
the door blew open and cracked, and now it needs to be glued back together at some point when it gets warmer, so that'll be a
Yeah, well,
building maintenance expense.
yeah, and we do have someone who's been helping us with some repairs like that. The guy from Hunger Mountain over in Hunger Mountain Construction, Alex, has been great. He's been helping us out with some stuff, so.
I think there's
Yeah.
something to be said for that.
So we do have someone to come and do some of the, like a fix the door kind of thing, but I'm just thinking of maybe some also smaller items, like,
And the light bulb needs to be changed way up
Yeah.
high.
yeah. Anyways, just something to keep in mind if you come across someone who could be a handyman, other than Jim. Because Jim's already busy on some other projects.
Jim, we don't pay him, so
Yeah,
we.
well, we know that, yeah.
No.
Okay,
All right.
That's it.
Thank you,
Thanks,
ladies.
guys. Yep.
thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Corey, thanks, Chris.
All right, so the rest of the, I think the budget we're done. You had some stuff on the,
Yeah, well, that's why Jim's here.
Jim, why don't you call it?
So our facilities committee of two, Jim and I, we just recruited someone else today, or at Lawson's was Ray, has offered to help as well. So we met with Ray this morning, and I know a while ago, I forwarded everybody these, so-called spreadsheets of the various things that need to happen in our 5 buildings. And Ray came up with a really good idea, or a suggestion today, because short of our going through every building right here, the list of things of every building, was that we set up a building maintenance fund. And that way, we could, as we tackle some of the projects, instead of we could either do a thing where we detail it for each section, like the fire department building needs X amount of dollars, and the town garage needs X amount of dollars, and the history center, as we try to work on these, maybe every year, the building maintenance fund gets some money put into it, and then as time goes on, various projects can be taken on.
And that would be to cover like small projects, not like
Well,
big capital,
Yeah, not maybe some of the, there's a couple of big
just
ones.
ongoing stuff, maintenance or
Yeah,
whatever.
well, ongoing, just to get caught up really,
Right,
almost now.
yeah.
We could get into, the specifics of some ideas we have for the railing out here, the rest of the railings need to be fixed. Jim and I have gone through a couple of different scenarios, and we're almost at a point where maybe the railings on the ramp should be changed to wood. a wood railing, you know, very sturdy and thing, because, you know, we've, as you know, Jim organized changing the center railing here and put stainless steel bases on them. Ray also suggested that we look into a more salt that's not as corrosive. But, you know, that's, of all the buildings that, you know, the town office, that's the main thing, is fixing the rest of the railings. And of course, there's already money in there for washing the buildings and stuff like that, but.
Wait, before you move on, so the maintenance fund, what's everyone thinking having these type of funds? I know we have a culvert fund now. We have a fund for surveys. We have a survey fund. We have several funds that we've created. And I don't think it's a bad idea. I've thought about a rec field fund as well. I mean, we're going to need, and Chris has talked about resurfacing the tennis courts. But I wanted to get everyone else's thoughts on, you know, some people say, oh, you're taking my money, and, you know, I could be getting interest on it rather than you guys. You know, and just come to me with those bigger purchases, you know, and do a vote, you know, when you want to do bigger purchases. But I don't know, these funds, you can take the sting out of some of the bigger projects that we do. We can pay for, oftentimes it'll pay for our factor, you know, our 10 or 20% for grants. So I think it's a good idea, but Mike, I'll start with you here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like putting stuff to a vote, I don't know, would this be for bigger projects, or this would just be for like maintenance stuff, like,
Well,
you know, it's like, so then it's not like you have to come, like, it's not like the town hall has to, maybe, I guess they still need approval, but it just would streamline some things for like small projects. Instead of being like, oh, where's the money gonna come from? It's like, oh, well, the money's in there and we can do this small project, and because it's just a small maintenance project and move on.
And I think that will, and I think Dolly said it will, you know, we're going to be looking at the purchase policy. I mean, because we felt a little bit limited on that, and that was, you know, 10 or 20 years ago that was established. So maybe if we have, you know, if you're putting 10 or 20,000, you might have 20 or 30,000 in one of these funds at some point, and to streamline that process, yeah, you may want to be able to spend 10 or 15 without having to get voter approval. So, you know, that's something we can address, that can be addressed and make the whole process and things happen a little bit easier and quicker for people who are volunteering their time. So,
What limitation be, will we input up $1,000 into the fund and without the voter approval? Would that be our cap, I guess?
say that again, Robin, you broke up a little bit.
And my internet's kind of weird. Would cap that at 5,000 a year without for approval?
Yeah, I think we could, you know, put anything on that. I typically we've done 10,000 with the survey fund. The culvert fund, I think, was 10,000. So I would think it would be in that range.
Okay. So would that be a line item then we would add, or would that be
It wouldn't be a line item, no, because if it line items, then it goes into your
right.
budget. So it would be an article.
An article. Would that be an article?
Yes, it would.
Okay, that's thank you.
Ms. Kelly, what about you? What's your thoughts?
What's for Lindo?
You're the treasurer.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but on the other side of things, if we had a solid capital asset plan, you know, if we were mapping things out and we knew what needed to be replaced, and budget for it in the long run, where you're not necessarily needing to use that money. on that side. I mean, and when it comes to interest, the town is probably getting a better interest rate than what anybody else is getting on what their money's going in and out every day, so. But,
So you don't see any real downsides to it though, right off the top of your head?
no, it's a bookkeeping nightmare, but,
That's the treasurer side of you.
So,
it's a bookkeeping nightmare, but,
I mean, the other side of it was that I wanted to try to talk to you about tonight then, is another way to look at this, that in what we did last year, if you might remember, it was just towards the very end, we just started looking at the buildings and we were doing the budget for 20. So for instance, we put in $5,000 on the fire station budget to do some work there. And we spent out of that 5,000 about 2,000 of it, because I won't go through into the details, but the rest of the work just didn't get done, and it'll get done next year. But just for instance, in the fire station, just estimate on some of the work that still needs to take place there is about $13,000. And so, we could, it doesn't all have to be done next year, but some of it should be done. So that, that's the kind of numbers we're looking at. That doesn't count, in maybe 2 years from now or 3 years from now, painting the building, but there's trim work that needs to be fixed. There's a door rusted out. There's, anyways,
That's
I'll re-forward
I guess
these,
that reinforces though, maybe if it's in a maintenance fund, because what's happening now is the 5,000 that you put in there, you're using you use two, right, you said?
Yeah, we used about 2.
Right, so the other 3 is just going into the budget kind of,
Which is kind of,
Like that.
right, because we didn't get to,
Because you
we
didn't
didn't
get
get
to
the
it's not
trim
like
work
we give it
started.
back, or
No,
it's.
no, I understand.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
blaming anyone,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's,
Yeah.
sometimes, maybe that's, a
Speaks to
reason
having
why
a maintenance fund.
And kind of planning towards that, and saying, all right, this year we want to put a minimum of 10,000, because this is what the projects we're thinking we're gonna pull out of that. But it doesn't, but again, I know I'm throwing 2 different things out here, but you do want to budget your things so you're just not haphazardly, having a big fund and just running it.
Well, then you have the history building, that needs a new roof and needs to be painted, and whether you paint over it, if you scrape it, which then gets into a level of lead abatement.
It's vinyl.
Yeah, okay.
On the history
I mean,
building.
as Jim will tell you, there's some volunteer work to do there with cleaning up the site and some stuff that's growing up against the building in the back. And, we do have volunteers to work on stuff like that. And then, the town garage is a project in itself. But that's gonna be a step-by-step. Dealing with the humidity is what we've been focusing on. And then after that, there's a big, repair work to the building structure in terms of the eaves and the trim and along the base and stuff. And Martin has started getting some of the grades back in shape. And, we did some stuff in the back of the building to do some water mitigation. We cut some trees down and such, but,
So this,
so, yeah, that's why.
well, you know what, Don, this will be good discussion. I know we plan on having, have your say here in
Yeah,
January.
but the team's here to talk about that next,
Team.
yeah.
And this will be a perfect topic to talk at that point, because we can bring up, all right, maintenance fund versus, line item budgeted this for it, what are people's thoughts? And we can think about it more so and have your arguments or your opinions, and we can go from there, and then have some concrete numbers as well to present at that point as well. Like,
Yeah, I think
we're
that-
thinking we should budget, 7,000 for the fire station because of this, 5,000 here, or we have a maintenance fund of yada yada.
20, 30,000 in a maintenance fund?
Or starting with 10, or, depending on what we want to do, and that may
Yeah.
be where we do want to have an article for, 10,000 or whatever it is for a roof or something. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the type of thing that you would probably have an article for regardless.
Yeah.
Especially for that building. But
Yeah.
Pretty sure you can also designate your funds at the end of the year.
there we go. See,
So
that's
you
why we
can
have a
just
treasurer.
roll them
Right.
over, unless they're restricted use, which means you have to use them for what you're using them for. But, because I know we roll over.
Yeah, can they, so you're saying you just, yeah, I mean, that'd be the ideal thing, so you
You
don't
look
use it all, you
at-
just roll it over, and then,
If it
like,
didn't
next
get
year you allocate
used,
the same
like
amount of
what we
money.
didn't use in the fire department.
Yeah, there's got to be a
We
reason
can-
though that we're not doing that. I mean, I've thought that all the time. Why don't we just
That would be
take
good.
what we don't use and roll it over? But I don't think it's restricted use though, because we,
No, restricted-
we move funds around enough.
Yeah, no, it's not. So restricted would be like, you get money to,
Like when we had the deer yard fund, that was restricted use. You need to use
Yes.
it for education or things like that. We have
Yes.
stipulations like that. So you know what, we can get an answer by this, have your say whether, all right, we can move funds if we, maybe if you allocate it to a certain, I don't know, fund or something, we'll have to ask Cheryl.
I mean, it would be good to, if we could, the money that we didn't use, that was so-called for repairs at the fire station, that we could add it into next year's.
Right, yeah.
That would be ideal, but I'm sure they,
There's some reason when we don't or can't. But
yeah, but in the future, that would be.
we should ask.
Right.
You wanna add anything to this, Jim? or-
Not necessarily to the budget component, but I do want to mention that I'm aware of several folks out there who are handy and retired, semi-retired, and are willing to give of their time and expertise on some of these projects where appropriate, and that the volunteer labor can be significant, and it can be anything from doing the railing out here, which was relatively simple, to more railing work, to clearing land, to
Cleaning up around the fire station.
cleaning up
your
around the
team
fire
did.
station, and that I want to celebrate that, formalize it somehow or another into some of these projects that we're going to be doing. Just because I think it's significant and makes people feel good, and it makes taxpayers' money go much further.
So,
Yeah, to sort of amplify that or exemplify that, right?
as our two maintenance gurus, Jim,
Two maintenance gurus.
do you have, maybe there's something we could, for the town, our new town book, report, that would be something that maybe to celebrate that type of thing.
Oh, we could write a little thing in
We could
there.
write something.
A little blurb about these are the volunteers and some of their accomplishments, and a little email thrown in for people to join as well.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we could do that.
And highlight yourselves, all right, we've done this, or, I don't feel like you don't like to talk about, your accomplishments. I mean, I think you are, but I mean, you point them out, people can see, this is what people do, and they feel more comfortable than just volunteering and realizing how important it is.
And sometimes volunteerism is contagious too. And, when folks see other folks raking leaves or doing some project on town buildings, they might be more likely to
Absolutely.
join in themselves.
And see other people doing it, and the names, and wanting to get into those coveted groups. So yeah, I think that would be something that we could highlight in the town report.
Well, we were also thinking we could also maybe do a little chat at the town meeting too, or pre-town meeting or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
Just to fire people up.
There's a lot of work to be done, and it's some of it is going to require experts in special equipment and their safety considerations, but a lot of it is grunt work that mostly anyone could do. And
Well, I'd like to say thank you because Jim did 2 trips just to get that railing off the steps. It wasn't just a quick thing.
And we talked about it for at least a year, so.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and it was in tough shape too. So
It was worse than I thought when we started.
Perspective, it was quick.
What was that?
I'm not sure.
When we started poking at the base of the railings, there were holes in it, and it was kind of ready to go.
Well, you probably saved us a lawsuit too.
Yeah. So,
So you reserve your funds.
Say again?
You reserve your funds.
Reserve them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's look into how we reserve those things that we don't have.
Yeah.
We can, reserve.
I'll just say one more thing, and that is that I was involved in maintenance on the mountain for quite a few years, and it was always hard selling big repairs to condo associations, but what was very persuasive was the understanding that putting off a repair for a year will cost 7% more the following year. Putting it off for 2 years, it might be 14% more. 3 years, 50% more. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing some projects that really can't wait all that much longer before they enter kind of a different DEFCON level. And so it's just important to know that time is not on our side for some of these rock projects.
I think we experienced that with the boiler down here.
Yeah.
You know, that was one that, you know, like I said, it might have get through the winter, but probably not. And then we would have been really SOL.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, thanks for, you know, not fixing it, but recognizing it, getting the quotes, getting
nice.
someone to come and do it, you know, with hitting where we are. We had the money in the budget to do it. So those are the type of things.
yeah, well, I think what Jim's saying is there are
other ones
There's
as
some
well.
projects at the town garage that we really need to keep moving on, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, so maybe,
on the
yeah.
the save day, we'll come with a few more some tighter numbers and see how we can,
A little kill
you
us,
know,
all right?
yeah, see how we can get that through.
All right. You good with the budget, guys?
Yeah, think so.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
So so the other thing that we have on the budget, guys, we'll get right to you with we just have a couple of, not little things, but, so we have the insurance that we had to make a decision. I think we pretty much we're gonna go with the, MVP, same that we had last year.
I thought that's what we had decided.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was anything different there this year.
Go good, Julie?
Cost, I think is what she was getting at, the coverage,
I don't think the coverage is changing at all, is it?
Yeah, so that one's from this sheet. I think that one was 2.9% more than last year.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't think the coverage was changing at all. I thought it was the exact same plan as we had, that the employees had. I think the plan that the town used to have, the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, was almost 12% more.
so you're keeping everything the same, is that what you?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
All right, well,
I don't think there was any,
okay.
Dawn, did you have any thoughts or changes on that? I don't think we talked about anything. I mean, I thought that was,
I think I wasn't here at that meeting when we were talking about it, but, so, I would say if we can stay similar to how we did, last year, that'd be a miracle.
yeah,
Based
no, the
on
coverage was
what's
the same,
going on,
but
yeah.
it was only like 3%, 2.9%.
With what's going on, I would say,
Good, all right, no, I thought that's pretty much, I think we had decided that. So the other thing is employee raises. And so Mike did a little research, and Mike, what did you find?
I just got what the state had decided on. I mean, it's hard to know, but, they're doing essentially a 4.5% increase, which I think, there's a difference between classified and non-classified, but I think that's essentially their COLA and, cost of living. So that's what.
COLA's 3.5.
Yeah, well, you can, yeah,
COLA's 3.5.
okay, well, yeah, then you can maybe tell us more than I know, so.
Yeah.
Have at it, Kelly, tell us everything you need.
So, I mean, the state's a totally different animal. They do theirs for 2 years, they're unionized. COLA right now is 3.5. So, I think a lot of towns are sticking between about the 3.5. That's where they're at, from what I've seen and heard.
Tom, or Mike, or
What's Berlin doing? I mean,
Right now, they're looking at 3. I mean, the police is different, they're unionized, they have steps. Theirs are plotted out for 5 years. The state's plotted out for 2. So, but we're looking at 3, I think, right now. So,
what's your thoughts, Mike?
So 3, so what you're saying is like, or, yeah, does anyone know, like 3 is basically just keeping pace with inflation then, right?
and you also have to look at, in the past 3 years, we've given some pretty hefty raises that in the grand scheme of things, in the bigger picture, is really, realistically not sustainable to do.
Right, I think we've been averaging, as far as our yearly increases, about 5%. In between that, we've had merit increases or step increases, whatever you want to call them, and they've been, anywhere between, I think, I wouldn't want to say the percentages, but if you look back, yeah, I think we've been fair with the employees. We've been trying to follow what's been going on and keep with inflation, but also keep with locally, what is happening, as far as the labor market goes, because, we can look at things and say, yeah, that sounds good, but if you can't hire anyone, then that's kind of where we have been. I think we've reached a pretty good level as well. Don, what's your thought?
No, I think you've summarized it pretty well. I mean, we've done what we can do, I think, and I guess if we just do the 3% maybe, or just to carry on. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish we could.
Yeah, and looking at the budget, we also have some big ticket
We got
stuff
some big numbers, right?
coming down with the pickup, another truck. Like, there's other heavier items in the budget as well. And considering that education is looking at increasing, 12%, that's a big number. So I think a lot of towns also are looking at where they can trim their budgets down to kind of lessen that impact. Because that's gonna be a big jump.
Yeah.
That I don't think when people actually look at their tax bill and really understand that
Yeah,
probably 80%.
yeah, I was talking with someone about this the other day, yeah. Can't remember who I was talking with about, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
think a
you-
lot of towns are trying to keep their budgets like flat because of the education spending part, and it's, yeah, I don't wanna say not fair, but then it puts pressures on town budgets that wouldn't be there otherwise.
Yeah, that's what's gonna put pressure on how much we can fund to fix our buildings.
Right, to try to keep taxes reasonable. Yeah, I don't know, yeah, I don't know the history of all the raises. I feel like we probably need to at least at the minimum keep pace with inflation, because then, right, I mean, everything's more expensive. It's like apparently obvious when you go and buy anything. So, yeah, I don't know what that number is, but I think we at least need to keep pace with whatever like the government inflation is, just so people have, at least in theory, same spending power.
Yeah, no, and you said that was 3?
3.5, I think. I think it's 3.5 the last time I looked at it. when we were talking about it for budget stuff, it was about that.
So with 3.5, would that do it for you, Mike, you think?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I'm not an economist, but it seems reasonable if that's what inflationary costs are, at least then we're keeping pace with that.
Should ask them,
Yeah,
because I hate to see someone's paycheck go backwards.
oh, well, no, I agree, yeah. Unless, if there's a way to confirm what that percentage is, you know, what, you know.
Yeah, CPI or whatever.
You know, usually gives it,
Say again?
plan usually gives us that COL number.
Callie's getting it.
So, the social security cost of living adjustment is 2.8.
All right.
I don't think we want to follow their lead.
Say again?
I don't know if we want to follow their
Social
lead.
Security?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. Projected COLA for 2026 remains at 2.7. So, that's lower than it was.
And so you're thinking like just Berlin where you're working is thinking 3.5% or 3%?
She said 3, I think.
Yeah, and we've done 3. I think the first year I was there, we got 8, but that was because we were so far under.
Right, so kind of those mirror, I think everyone was going through that in the last 5 years.
Well, we were under, so we get the nice book that tells you what all of the different jobs are in every town and what they're making, so you can kind of look and figure it out. And we were all under where we were.
Hey, I thought you were going to bring the book into these meetings.
We
I don't
can-
even
it's
have the
on-
book.
You can have it on, we had it,
Yeah.
when we did it
We
last
did
year.
it last year.
Yeah.
John
Yeah,
did
in
it.
most towns, and
I thought Moretown hadn't joined though or something.
Right.
I clicked the link and we couldn't view it because like it's another, you know,
Yeah, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, Moretown hasn't paid for it, or at least for this year or whatever, yeah. So, but Callie said she was gonna bring her Berlin copy in,
I don't have a copy.
yeah.
I don't have a copy. But, I mean, that's a
Karen had it
good
with her.
place.
She's in on this.
If you're talking about the report from the League of Cities and Towns, you have to fill out the survey in order to get the report.
Yep,
So if you don't give, you
which
can't
goes
take.
through all the wages. But you can look and you can see it's actually really comprehensive to look at and see where everybody else is and kind of match it up.
No, I think we did that with, like I said, when we were going through the process last year or the year before, and we found it was pretty close. I mean, there's always outliers, but then you had to kind of do a regional thing or something. All right, what's the neighbor doing?
Right.
Because if I'm going to lose someone, it's going to be to someone down the road, and so we were looking at that. But
And the thing is a lot of towns are looking for different positions. Over the summer, a lot of towns were looking for a lot of different positions. You'd see,
like what, for example?
oh, highway operators, zoning, office staff.
So
And they were looking for a long time. And I don't think it was just a pay thing, I think it was just a,
And I would tell you that towns aren't paying enough
Yeah,
if people aren't taking the job.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
sometimes supervisors and managers in town can just kind of voice it all too.
Yeah, we don't have that problem here though.
We do not have that problem here, no.
Which
I think we have
aren't
happy
big enough. We don't
employees.
have 5 employees or 4 employees. We would have that, but,
and the other thing that you also have to factor in is all your fringe benefits as well. So your health insurance, what the town's covering, what they're not, vacation time, sick time.
we still pay 100% employee insurance, which is,
Good benefit, yeah.
yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. So I don't know, without being an economist, I don't know, I'm fine with 3.5% unless someone has a argument in a
I'm
different,
good with 3.5.
in a different direction? Or more information than ideal?
Kelly, what's your thoughts on that? You all right, 3.5?
Yeah, I think, I mean, and it doesn't say anything about the employees that we have either. Like, we do have great employees. And given how education taxes are going, economy, the budget, I mean,
Yeah, I think
there have to be some places in that large number is not necessarily a sustainable thing. Doesn't mean next year that things might not be fabulous, and who knows? But I think we just have to be mindful of that going into it.
No, that's good. So we'll go ahead and do 3.5% across the board. So that goes from the librarian pay to office pay, road crew, and all pay across the board.
Yep.
So, all right. Sasha, I think that finishes up the budget. Is that right?
I think so.
All right. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the town meeting group. Steve, how are you tonight? You slipped in. Actually, I heard you.
Yeah,
You were like the
Yeah,
chair.
they didn't quite go far enough apart, I was trying to slide in and, oh well.
How about we all slide up, we'll move down here. So we can work off the notes that we had from our last meeting if you want.
Yeah. go ahead.
I think you all have copies of them there, I'm not sure, in your pile. That's
Yep.
what you made. But, so we met on the 26th, the team right here. And so just going through what we've talked about, so it's Have Your Say Day, which we were thinking could still be held on January 6th at our next select board meeting, with a location to be determined whether we do it here or if we, it's a little, how we gauge attendance with, getting the word out there. And, if only 10 people showed up, then we'd be pretty fine here, or 10, 15 people. But if more came, then, or which we would hope, then we would need to be in a different spot, whether that's the cafeteria or...
We could turn the table and we could pull all the chairs over. We could probably get quite a few people in here.
Well, then that's an idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and we could still have the
We
Zoom
could put the
potential.
Zoom, the monitor over in the corner maybe. We could probably finagle it in here.
Yeah, maybe that for the first year,
Yeah.
see what kind of...
Right, that would be a good problem to have. Is that
If it was standing room
you're gonna
only?
have standing room only, and then put the picture in the papers and look at.
So, then another comment we had was when the budget would be done and, a rough draft, and how would we present that and how would it be available for people to, seeing that it's now December 15th, would people request it,
Well, I think it could, they could have probably something requested, but we could also just have it online. There's really no reason why we can't have it online, and we can, it's just a couple keystrokes to put in the 3.5% for the pay. And then we'll have, we should probably have highlight some question areas that we have on the maintenance. Some of the article questions that we have, for the maintenance fund, we have some vehicle purchase type things that we should somehow outline. These are, we won't have the articles written, but, this is what we're thinking, a $100,000 pickup or truck or something like that, a $300,000 loader and another $400,000 dump truck. Yeah, so that's just off the top of my head. So those, but we should have something, so here's your budget, here's, these are potential articles, or these will be articles. unless you guys say otherwise, you know, and that will be kind of the type of thing to get maybe people there. You know, and I can, and whoever or however we decide to promote this, it's Karen right who knows, we'll make sure you get me those article things, because that will, you know, that's gonna get people to come out and, you know, give their say, and then, you know, it might give us more things to think about, whether we should, all right, maybe we need to push this purchase out for another year, or not, you know, depending on what they happen to be. Or we can say, all right, this is the reason why. I think someone was saying, you know, we push things off and it's another 7% or 14% 2 years from down the road. And, you know, that's why we have our capital budget and our, you know, our, the other budget, whatever, you know, our planning budget. And so we can share that, and this is why we're asking for these vehicles or these things this year. It actually is in the budget that we planned for, so. No, I think it would be good so people understand either way.
Would the finance committee give us some, want to be involved in that?
No, I think they should probably be there. They would, we'll
Yeah.
invite them. Of course, you know, Sherilyn would be there anyways, but, yeah, so
Yeah, it would
that
be
has
key
some
to
skin
have
in the game,
Sherilyn,
that can
yeah.
answer some of those questions that, you know, how is this long-term impact, you know, the capital budgets. I mean, they're looking at those more in depth than what we are, or at least what I am.
But I mean, on something like the building maintenance thing, we're either gonna say, would we either have to have a fund, or are we gonna then say, we're gonna just add certain amounts to each, you know, to the
Well, I think that's
fire
where-
station, to the town, to the,
Maybe,
you know.
maybe in each town, like kind of the town hall or the fire station or wherever it happens to be, in maintenance, you know, we'll have that highlighted and say, all
Right.
right, this is where,
We're
you
either
know, this is
gonna
what we
add-
want
yeah.
to, what we'd like to discuss.
Right.
You know, is it, are we gonna put in 5,000 to do these jobs, or do we wanna potentially put in a maintenance fund? And get people's, more of that, what I'm looking there, or was hoping to get, is more people's opinions on maintenance funds.
Yeah,
Or just funds, you know, because I know we've had, and believe it or not, and Steve could testify to this, we've had some discussions at town meeting, when we're having articles on, whether it's the culvert fund, or some of those people, you know, question whether we should have funds, or just, you know, have an article on what you want to do, type of thing, so. I think that would be a good discussion to have.
Well, then we were also talking again about how you say to how, so the vehicles we have to getting that out is Front Porch Forum, the website, we could put something there, I don't know how much people just go visit the website. And then the Valley Reporter, you know, maybe something in the Valley Reporter, and then what did we had one other, oh, maybe having a couple of posters or something up, you know.
What if we
some
send
key
someone, what
locations.
about if we talk to someone at the school, they must have a newsletter they send out, right?
They send out a weekly newsletter on
Oh, yeah.
Sundays.
Great idea, Tom.
Or Friday afternoons, it goes out.
I think, you know, that's gonna,
Yeah.
people will probably read that, maybe? Some of them do.
Yeah, the
Yeah, at
people,
least
so that's the
skim it as a
PTO that
parent,
does
yeah.
that?
Oh, the newsletter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bobcat
I read that.
Bulletin, yeah.
All right, so we got
Yeah, I read the
100%
Harvard
right here.
You read the bulletin, Bobcat Bulletin
I
stuff?
read the Harwood one.
Yeah, Harvard
Yep.
Bulletin.
Yep. I get two, because I get the tech one too, and I read both of them.
Well, then maybe we should do both the school, Moretown and Harvard.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we can put a little advertisement or something, or some blurb in those. That might get some people, because those are the, you know, and that's what, those are the people that came to town meeting too. The younger, you know, we had a lot of that, so if you could keep that ball rolling. Maybe this would-
So we could reach out to the PTO, I know, you know, probably Louisa Wilson, who's the head of that, I could reach out to her.
Yep.
But I don't know who we would reach out to at Harvard if someone's there.
Or we could just, I'm sure if we, Kate is who does the
Yeah.
Moretown one, so I'm sure if we just, I'm sure Kate could put us in touch with, you know, because we could even do cross it, because I'm sure there's some, not many, but there's probably some houses that kids go to cross it Brook, because they're right there, so, yeah. So,
maybe Kate could help get that.
Yeah, so yeah, I can-
You see her.
I think she
Yeah.
knows who the contacts are over
yeah,
there.
yeah, so,
All right, well, that'd be good. And then we could work with Sasha about some front porch forum posts, right?
Yeah. So if we did go forward with this, which hopefully we will, and I guess the next question would be like, how soon could we start advertising it as far as some kind of a link or something that people could click on to see these
Well, I
potential,
think,
like rough draft budget?
I mean, I think we'll make that decision right now, you know, all right, we'll go ahead and do it, and then I think, well, I don't think we gotta make the decision, we will make it, and I think it sounds fairly positive, people will go with it. And then you could probably like tease it out very quickly, you know, that, hey, this is what we, you know, mark your calendar for this night, you know, and we're having pizza and bring your own booze and whatever, you know.
I like that.
I like
Sounding
that
better
idea.
and better.
Yeah. You want people to come or not? But maybe we could have some food or snacks or something, I mean, that's not, you know, I think it would be a good idea. So, yeah, you know, maybe don't throw that in there yet, but
Yeah.
tell them to mark the calendar to
Sure.
come and have their say, and more information, and then, you know, I would think within a week, I mean, things right now are a little slow in the office, as I'm sure aware, Sherilyn's dad passed away, so Sherilyn's been out of the office, so, it's been, you know, Sasha's been stepping up and doing a lot, so, but we'll get that as quick as possible, and something put together. You know, I would think by, probably next Monday. I mean, again, we'll have this budget here available, and then we can have 4 or 5 discussion articles that we may have, you know, and they can be outlined, and then we can get more specific as we know more about them. And that's what this whole thing is kind of about, is, you know, have your say, and we'll.
Yeah. Another thing that might be a little bit of an inconvenience, but definitely want to make sure that it's available to people that don't have access to the internet too. I don't know if that's something that I never,
Copies can be used.
never do. Yeah, we have a
copies in
few
the
copies here,
office.
that'd be great
Yeah.
for some of the people that maybe would prefer that route.
Yep.
I want to make clear that it's the town and not the school
A good point.
that we're discussing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, as I was saying that, I was getting everyone involved, and I almost like, and make sure we tell them that it,
Yeah.
I thought to myself, oh, we'll hear about it, and then we can tell them then, but
Right.
but we should definitely be very clear about this.
might have less turnout that way though.
That
You
wasn't
might
a
find
fact.
out.
Rope them in and then,
But you might otherwise
Bait and
have a lot of
switch.
turnout
There you go, yeah, nice
and
pizza
never
switch.
Yeah.
talk about the town side.
You can not discuss it, and then when everybody comes, just do a disclaimer at the beginning, going, we're not talking about the school budget, so anyone who wants to leave now, can leave.
Yeah, 3/4 of them get on.
Give back your pizza.
Yeah.
After they get their pizza.
Taking your pepperoni. All right, so, and Don, you can kind of keep us honest here in the next few days, making sure that it's getting done.
Okay. Then the next item to roll on, okay, so we'll have copies here. Hopefully by next Monday, there'll be a rough draft of with a couple of articles that can then get posted in a rough draft, and then we can start all working together as far as with the school, have your stay day out when the information's available, and front porch forum posts, we should probably try to do a couple of those. So then moving on to pre-town meeting, I guess there was talk that we would do it on the 17th, which is 2 weeks before town meeting, instead of the night before, as we did last year.
We did a couple of weeks before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did do that at the Moretown School cafeteria, which seemed, we did fill that, though I suppose if we flipped this table, we could maybe do it in here, I don't know, that was, there was a lot of people there.
There was a lot,
That was
yeah.
a really good turnout.
That was a good turnout, so,
That's when we
again,
had
then,
the whole potluck and all that stuff, right?
no, that was for the town meeting.
That was the meeting itself.
Oh, was it, all right.
Yeah. This was, we did it as a regular select board meeting, but we did a pre-town meeting, and then, I don't know, then I think we had our select board meeting, or no, I think we had the select board meeting before. Like we started at 5:30, and then the pre-town was at 6:30.
Yeah, 15 minutes before or something.
Yeah, so, but we also came up with, in talking about it, was that we should maybe just again post the information and an agenda for pre-town meeting, you know, so prior, so, you know, and then also maybe try to get this year to have some various committees attend, to focus on what they're doing. You know, it might be a good opportunity for some of the various, you know, like even the planning commission could be there and say, hey, we just updated the town plan, and the rec committee could be there, or, you know, just, I don't, you know, find, you know, whatever committees we could get to come, you know, to be, you know.
Conservation Commission.
What?
Conservation Commission.
Yeah, whatever, you know.
We don't have it.
We don't really.
Clerk's got nothing to do now.
So, yeah, that, I mean, we have some time to work on that. We just wanted to throw that out there as a thought, you know.
Well, I think
as we get
even
closer.
at your, or our meeting on this 6th, we can throw some of this stuff out there as well. You know,
Yeah.
get people's feedback. What'd you think of this? What would you do
Yeah.
differently?
Sure. Do we think this is gonna be big enough? I guess is the question. We won't-
Oh, for
As far as
the
the area.
pre-town meeting?
For the have you say,
For have you say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And we don't,
I think your idea of maximizing the space is a good start, and then like you were saying, if it's, that'd be a good problem to have.
Yeah. Because I think then you're gonna get a lot of people who just because of the holidays and everything have not really thought much about it, and it's kind of gone the way. So I think, yeah, I don't think we're gonna have more buttons, but again, if it really gets overwhelming, then we'll figure it out.
We could do it in stages, you know, like, okay, for this half hour will be this group.
Right.
Come back. But I don't think you're gonna have that problem.
No, I don't think it'll be that bad. And again, if it is, then there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and we should hear from them, so we'll be here.
But, so again, pre-town meeting, we'll, you know, as we get closer, we'll work with the school and get that set up for that 6 PM. I guess we'll do a select board meeting at 5:30 or something. And then as far as town meeting, at the school, I've reached out to Neck of the Woods, they're online to do childcare. We'll, you know, as we get closer, we'll start to organize a potluck dinner. And we had some items to clarify and fine tune. One, we need to do something about the sound system. So, I don't know I'm not sure what that something is, but we need to do something.
I still think there's gotta be someone up to the high school that does that. I mean, isn't that a thing that kids do?
No, the high school sound system,
But
but
really,
their
like
system in
classes,
the
I mean,
auditorium is worse than, is as bad as what we have in this gym.
So we're going to,
You know,
all right.
at least when I've been to there's a couple of the school board meetings
Well,
there.
I think they're not using it then. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing actually for them, but, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I know some older folks that don't come anymore because they're like, we can't hear a goddamn thing. Whatever language.
Yeah.
I
You know.
didn't get to go last year, I wasn't able to be over
Yeah.
there. Was the setup being different? Did that help at all?
The setup was being different was great. I thought
As
that
far as
worked out
sound
well.
goes?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
I mean,
so.
it wasn't as bad because you didn't have that loud, the
The
heater or the air conditioner, whatever the hell.
Yeah, the heat
keeps
turns
going
on and then it gets
Yeah.
loud.
So that helped, but we need,
It's probably dependent on the weather. If
Yeah,
it's
but
warm
the
out,
weather-
the heat doesn't kick on all the
Right.
time.
But, you know, it was the microphone, you know, that was
It was funny.
problematic,
Because
you
we
know?
tested it, but there were only like 6 people in the room, and it sounded great. And then when the room fills up,
The
you
acoustics
can't hear
change.
it.
yeah.
You can't hear it.
And the mic doesn't travel well to other people in the,
It really doesn't travel at all.
All, yeah.
right.
Does anybody have a karaoke machine, something that would?
Yeah, I'll start
Good
singing.
DJ.
Perfect.
Thought?
usually been jumping off for years.
You know, I mean,
Something to try.
All right, well, it's obviously we're not gonna fix this problem tonight, but let's look into it. Someone's gonna, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna ask, there's 2 DJs in town that I'll try to reach out to and see if they can help us, you know, but with what they have. But,
Maybe Kate has some ideas.
Maybe Kate has some ideas.
it's gotta be.
Maybe our moderator has some ideas.
I
Just
wish.
kidding.
As long as he does not sing,
Yeah.
I'm okay. Just
So
don't
then,
sing.
moving right along, you know, then there was, we've been, in the articles, and maybe we'll have Steve chat about this, was, the notes, our notes, raise the amounts and a vote to change the dollar amount of articles grouped together. Review and input of grouping and listing articles. Do you want to elaborate on that, Steve, a little? Or?
Sure. So what we're talking about here, actually, it would be to raise the amount. Currently, it's anything over $5,000 has to be on Australian ballot. And if we raised that dollar amount, then we would be able to have fewer articles by combining more of the articles. So, would be an interesting discussion. I think, you know, it's been 27 years since they started this, and with inflation, that 5,000 doesn't mean the same thing as it did. And I'm doing math in my head, it's more than 27. But so one possibility, if we raised that to, I would like to see it raised to $15,000, but or even $10,000 would make it so that we could combine more of the articles. It's something that has to be done, would have to be done as an article this year to do it, so that we could then in future years combine the articles differently. This year we could try to combine them similar to the way we did last year, although ideally we would not be
Don't want to
pushing.
max it
We
out.
wouldn't be pushing up against the
Exactly,
limit the
right.
same way.
So that gives people some
So
flexibility.
that you have flexibility,
Flexibility,
yeah.
So we need to have that wiggle room back in there.
Yeah, we didn't think of that when we were doing it, we were just,
Yeah.
Yeah, like make them the 4,000 or,
yeah,
and then people have some room.
yeah.
So that's so one thing is is continue to group them. I think that, other than the fact that the grouping itself wasn't perfect, the idea and the concept seemed to go over well to me. It certainly made me have a lot less speaking that I had to do by the end of the day. The second part of that is potentially to have an article that would raise to see if people would like to raise the amount so that we can combine more. That does mean that if you raise it and said 15,000, that means that if you have something you want to buy for like a culvert or whatever it is, that's a $10,000 item, it would no longer be Australian ballot, it would end up going on the floor. So we can think about that, or the town body at the meeting could think about that.
Well, you could still have an article for a truck, you know, buying something at $10,000, if it is, you know.
If
It could be a
so I'm not a lawyer,
Yeah,
but if you say that all articles over $10,000 are Australian ballot, then I think all is
You probably can't really pick and choose the articles that are under that amount.
right. And the town does kind of have a history occasionally of picking and choosing things that should be one way and doing it the other. And
This town?
We're all friends here.
I'm not pointing any fingers. Nobody in this room has ever done this. But it's just, we should be careful about that. I mean, ultimately, because if we do it wrong,
I mean, it's gonna be an
There's
article
always
though,
potential.
so it's either whether it's gonna be Australian ballot or on the floor, right?
Right.
So,
It's an article, it's just a question of where the article ends up. And then anyway, we're persevering on that, and that's not really.
I just want to add one comment. When we were at Morefest, we had some of the ideas in our booth, and a few people raised the concern, like if they do raise it, which they thought was not a bad idea because it's been so many years, but one of their concerns was that then that would make some of these groups might increase their requests from, $4.99 at the Waterbury Senior Center to whatever.
They can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one
$9.99.
organization that always does 4.
But they recognize that it's been a long time, so I think that they were open to it, but they were just, that was one of their
Leery of
thoughts.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The same argument could be made that then that amount, $4.99, would be not going as far
Right.
because of the same inflation, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's two sides, but yeah, it's the same thing.
So why don't we
Yeah.
have this on one of our potential articles on Have Your Say Day? I mean, so that we do talk about this. I mean, I think that would be another,
I think that's the
That's a
purpose
good
of Have
idea.
Your Say Day.
yeah, exactly. Would give us, helps,
Get
which
some
way the
input,
wind's going
yeah.
a little bit. You gotta make your own decision, but it's good to get some input.
And then we had some discussion about maybe some review, if we get to that point, about grouping some articles together, having some input about how the grouping goes, what stuff gets grouped together.
Well, and mostly
It's more
reviewing and making sure
get
that,
balance, right?
making sure that it's balanced and that we don't have it.
That's what Sherwin and I did, is we grouped them together doing math to keep them under a certain amount, and then you guys just have to approve it to put it on the ballot.
Right, but what we need to do, I'm on it, so we'll take
Yeah,
care of
okay.
that.
I trust you, Tom.
Yeah. So then, we just had another thing, how do we introduce, at town meeting, just various discussions and present information to folks, and maybe not wait till the end of the meeting when everybody's like, I'm ready to go have more.
Can I talk about this a
Pizza.
little bit more?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Steve's the guy that runs it.
Yeah.
Well, so this came up in our last little meeting, right near the end of our last little meeting, when Donnie says, I wish people would hang out and listen when we're talking about the town hall group.
Or the planning.
Or the planning, and they said it's the end of the meeting and we're not actually, and everybody's like done and they get up and leave. And I said, the one time people are gonna listen is if there's an article on the floor that they have to vote on. And I said, why don't you ask the select board if they'll put a separate article for $200 to support the town hall committee
To buy beer.
to buy pizza, or whatever it is, you could make it something reasonable. And then when they say, well, we move the article, and then we get up and then say, why do you need this $200? Well, then you give this whole presentation on the town hall and what this committee is doing.
Is there a time limit?
Yes, there's always a time limit. There's always a time limit. The time limit is a
Well,
lot
that
longer
was,
than you think.
and then,
It's
and
10
also,
minutes.
and also you use that if there was any other, enough of the planning commission to talk about the town plan, or we certainly, we would like to have some kind of, information available about the town hall at town meeting. It would be a good, it would be a good opportunity to bring people up to speed about where we're at and where we want to try to go with the project.
In my
Well,
experience, can I just,
Yeah.
being at town meeting, your ass gets sore. And it comes to a point where you really get antsy.
Yeah, I
What if
agree.
you have refreshments and coffee and stuff in that room, so people can get up, kind of mingle around a little bit, move their butts around, and maybe come back and sit?
Some have been stretched.
Or do a group stretch like that. I mean,
It's gotta be in the middle though, not at the, and when there's still something important going on, Because if you do it and you only got like 3 things left in it, all it is the Boys and Girls Club.
No, but you mean is throughout the whole meeting?
Yeah,
Throughout the
yeah.
whole meeting.
Well, the History Center would like to have stuff there this year, so they could maybe be, instead of down by the
I think they
cafeteria,
should be right
be in the
inside.
room with some goodies.
Just
Yeah.
ask people to be quiet, but, don't keep your conversations quiet.
I'm wondering if, building on that, if we had a 10-minute break. I'll tell you what, there've been a lot of meetings in the last 10 years that I've been standing there for 4 hours.
You need a pee break.
And that's exhausting.
Yeah, every once in a while, I
Yeah.
think that's.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, you
So if I
gotta-
were to say, we're taking a 10-minute break,
Right.
Exactly.
that's assuming that I get reelected.
Well, assuming.
I have a feeling you will be.
I don't know.
I keep
These are
hoping-
interesting times.
Exactly.
All right, then
That's
the
a
other,
really interesting idea. I mean, in the old days, they would stop and, as Jerry would say, stop and have dinner. You know?
yeah, well, that's right, we would go eat and then we'd come back for the rest of the town meeting, but not that many people would come back for the second half.
Right, right, especially when we're starting at 4. or
At 4
whatever.
o'clock, yeah. Anyways, food, so to speak, food for thought, about, how we do that, and, like, again, we were just talking about how maybe various committees
So
could.
maybe,
you know.
I mean, the idea of having an article just to keep, so there was something that you had to vote on so that people would stay and listen. Maybe you would try it with just one group this year just to see what happens.
Yeah, I think maybe with library stuff, or.
Yeah, we could
town
just
hall.
say, town hall, we need X amount of dollars to do a mailer or something, and then we could talk about what we're gonna, I don't know, something,
I think that's a good idea, to try to give that.
It's an interesting idea, I mean, who knows if it would
What are
work.
you gonna do if nobody says anything though? Somebody needs to.
Well, somebody's gotta be ready to talk.
Somebody-
Right.
Exactly, somebody's gotta be ready to say, hey, why do we need that? Somebody's
someone
gotta
can
be.
do
the
that.
stand-up
yeah,
person.
we could.
But that's,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
be able to make that prompt.
I can,
Yeah.
if someone from the library or the town hall or whatever committee it is ready to talk, I can make sure it happens.
Oh, yeah, no.
Donnie's always ready to talk.
Yeah.
I would, or some other folks on the committee, and we would use a similar presentation as what we presented to the board a couple of months ago, just to, anyways, yeah,
There's your captive audience, you got it.
okay, there you go, all right. Well, maybe we could just have the article be to pay the people on the town hall committee, $200 each. That would go over really well.
Oh, jeez.
Meeting or a riot?
Right, I know. And then a last note that we had was, which is just, the town outreach and a creation of future involvement, so just, how, I know that we've talked in a couple of our meetings about getting back to, there was a short period of time where we were posting the agenda for the select board on Front Porch Forum, and whether we, should keep trying to do that, and then refer people to the website to, if they want to read the meeting notes.
I think the idea behind, our thinking behind that was that not everyone can remember every other Monday, which Monday it is. And so maybe just a little link like on the forum or something being like,
think it's a
minutes
good
are
idea.
out from the select board meeting or agendas out, and just a link, not the actual minutes and everything within the post.
Yeah, there could be a link or a
It's like a little
link to
reminder.
the town website where it'd be
Where
available.
it's posted, yeah.
Yeah,
I
something
think
like
it's a good
that.
idea. So both the meeting minutes and the agenda.
That'd be great.
Well, the meeting minutes from the when they're approved, when we.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But then your,
Just a link to the website.
right, and the agenda, but here they are,
Yeah.
meeting minutes are posted. Unapproved minutes are posted.
Yeah, I mean, it might just, someone might go, oh, click on it to read about it.
I think it'll definitely gain more interest.
Yeah, and then they might read something that'll prompt them to either send an email or come to a meeting or,
Yeah, no, Yeah.
Or get a sign and start picking it in front of the office.
Yes.
Be careful with
Well,
what
that's
we're
right,
done.
So do we have any action items? We all sort of, we're,
Just as a point of reference, a couple of our neighboring towns do this. We reached out to Waterbury and Duxbury, to both. kind of-
That's the have your say day.
The Have Your Say Day, sorry, yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea, and I think we have a few things that we're working on. We're gonna try to get, I mean, I think the budget, and then just, 4 or 5 things that we've talked about with our articles. I mean, we have the truck things, we have, the 2 other ones, as far as the, raising the limit, for the spend to, should we raise it to 10 or 15,000, if at all? And what was the other, I didn't write them down, what was the other article, that we were considering?
Building maintenance?
Building, and the maintenance funds,
yeah.
So that should get some people to come out, and then we can discuss anything. I mean, as we're there, I mean, that's what this whole meeting will be about, is, as we're going through the line item, I mean, that will spur more conversation than anything. If, we can have that available, we'll have it online so the budget can be up, and, we can go through line by line if people want. We'll try to figure out what will work for people, how they want to have their say. And, we'll, let them know that, a little bit about a history. Maybe one of you guys, could, outline that, or when we start the meeting, say, the reason we're having this is we reached out to both Middlesex and Waterbury, whoever happened to be. This is what they do, and this is our opportunity to actually change. This is what this means, because people, sometimes they go to or more often, especially new people, go to the town meeting expecting that, can we move those things, and you can't. This is kind of, it's in the budget, you either vote yes or no for the whole budget and not. But this means that, hey, we can move these line items around, if there's strong input or either way. So we'll have one of you
Give it a
guys
shot.
or someone, but yeah, just a 2-minute, this is why we're doing this. And that should probably be when we're advertising this thing as well, to let people know really what's behind have your say. This is why we're doing it, and it's not to come and slaughter the select board, but it's to come in and have a thoughtful discussion on potential budget impact items. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
So do we have our action items for our team here?
It's all you, I think.
No. Well, Mike's gonna talk to Kate.
Right.
Right?
We gotta maybe work on help out with some front porch forum posting and some language for that.
We'll let these guys keep going, we'll talk in our committee, right?
Yeah, but when? We're not gonna
Well,
get a meeting.
just send out an email, we'll meet.
Okay.
Mike's
another
gotta
quick-
get his kid home.
Hey, she wanted to come to the meeting. Yourself.
Okay, before you guys,
She's here
do
for
you
the
wanna
long
try
haul.
for another quick red hen meeting
Yeah.
before the holiday?
Yeah, sure.
Next week or something, beginning of the week?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Oh, yeah,
It's tough
Steve's a
for-
busy guy.
It's tough for Steve.
Oh, Steve with snow, yeah.
What's the best day for you?
He's not coming,
Yeah.
but
With your schedule?
we might have to do it without Steve.
Dad likes to hang out with the red
And
hat.
that's
We can
hard
just
to
do it with
but-
Chris and you and Karen.
That's sweet. Watch it out, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Working, how many days do you work there? What?
2 days.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Trust me to bring it back,
Tuesday.
possible?
Sure, yeah.
I can send it to you
Fun.
by email too if you want.
Yeah.
Mark it up for us, let
So
us know what you
Tuesday
see.
morning, I think would be the best check to get.
Yeah.
The best, you may not, but that's our best
All right,
chance.
8 o'clock on a Tuesday, okay.
But you're talking before the holidays. and
Yeah.
so
That's
that
next Tuesday.
Tuesday morning, that's the 4 hours that I'll get to see my kids while they're home.
All right, so yeah, maybe you won't come, it'll just be Karen and John and Chris.
All right.
Good. All right, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Carry on.
Have a good night.
I said carry on.
Not
I
really.
thought I said Karen.
Sasha, do you have some reports for us?
Did you get an email from Ray's after this?
Treats for
Tried to convince her not to come tonight.
I did.
Determined.
So you can come sit up here and follow us.
Was there any?
He opened bids today, and it's for 2 culverts. Oh, he'll have recommendations for it within the week.
No,
And then I reached out, and we have 2 errors in omission, nothing major. It was a camp taken out and 1 veteran's discount.
Okay.
The recipients of the Charles Davis sent a card for you guys. I have 1 liquor license and the Washington
What was that
Sheriff's.
first one?
This was errors and omissions.
Okay.
So we had one that was span 408-127-10597, and it changed from $150,500 to $110,500, a difference of $40,000, and the reason was missed qualified veterans exemption.
Thank you.
Sasha, you said there were 2, this is the only one I'm seeing.
Yeah, there's 2 listed there.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, yeah, that was the second one. And the first one was a change from $214,100 to $180,500, a difference of $33,600. During the review of the property by the forester for current use enrollment, it was discovered the owners were assessed for a structure that as of April 1st was no longer there. The 432 square foot camp was completely raised over a year ago, leaving land only, no water or septic. Total value of the camp was $33,600. Assessed land value remains unchanged. So that was the reasons there. So we are going to make sure we all sign this one, please.
Then the sheriff's contract for the new year, and 1 liquor license.
All right, so the sheriff's contract, enclosed is the law enforcement contract for more of the year. We've raised our rates this year to $68 an hour starting July 1st, 2026. That's for the second part of our year. The mileage rate is the federal rate at 70 cents per mile. So I guess that's, what was our rate last year, do you remember?
It didn't go up a lot, I don't think.
Yeah, we're not
We went under.
so any questions on that, or, and Sasha, what else?
The last question I have is the post hole digger. What did you guys decide on those 2 quotes?
So, how much, or how often do we use the pulse loader? I know you've been wanting this, what is it?
It's to do the speed limit signs.
Yeah.
To get them in the ground safely. They have been borrowing one from another town, but I don't know how long that's, I don't know if that's part of their,
And there was money in the budget to take care of this?
I didn't know if we could do it like we did with the speed limit signs under the law enforcement, or do you want to do it from somewhere else? They can use it for other things.
Right, but in Martin's budget, do we have maintenance money left to do that? I don't think,
I haven't.
yeah, because we put in, I think all that money is going into the new, boiler. And probably for this maintenance item, I don't think we can move over the money from the law enforcement. I don't think that would be.
You could ask Cheryl about grant stuff.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, until we, and also, what, a separate note, I'm trying to work a couple of different angles to try to figure out how the state statute reads from towns and municipalities to be able to change speed limits on their own road. And so, like Wednesday, I'm meeting with CVRCP to go over the old letter that we did 2 years ago with all those signatures, requesting some changes to Route 2 and 100B and such. And also we wanted to talk to V-Trans. It's not so much V-Trans, but it's a state statute. It's a tad confusing, but if once that gets clarified, then there's a chance or an opportunity down the road that we would want to post Old Digger, because then we based on what the sheriff says for how many, what the distance is, but that I'm a little confused about as well. But also if we actually physically change some speed limits on some of our roads, you know.
No, I think
So that could be another, not to kick the can down the road, but that could be all come together at one time.
no, I agree. Kelly, what about you? Anything new you want to share with us, or?
Not much. I think I want to take just a different look at the personnel policy, kind of looking at vacation time, maybe what we can do to offer comp time, because we can do that. We can offer comp because we are a municipality. We just can't require anyone to take it. And that may cut down on some of the overtime, but just looking at that a little bit more.
That's good, yeah.
And that could be a benefit also for, instead of in pay, comp time, you know.
Yeah, so,
You know, and instead of, you know, someone could get,
Yeah.
utilize comp time where, you know, to offset what the town can afford to do in the raises.
So-
no, it'd be to cut down on overtime.
Oh,
Because instead of getting paid overtime, you take that time and a half and it goes into comp time. So if you put 10 hours into comp time, it's 15 hours. And then you can basically use it like vacation time. Which private sector can't do it, but the state and municipalities can do it. You just can't force people to take it. But especially in the winter, I mean, they do a pretty good job at keeping overtime low, but
still.
in case that's something.
Yeah, they work by doing that by, I mean, if they go in at 4 o'clock, they leave at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or things like that. So
But on those long days where it's snowing all day, instead of
Right,
getting
they can't. No,
a
that's
heavy
when they can
hit
benefit
with taxes,
from
it
taking
just
that.
makes it a little better.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good thing to work on.
Well, and some people might like not prefer that, but want it. Like I worked for a company and I did comp time all the time, and I liked it at the time. It's pretty nice, you know?
Yeah, you
So-
just take it and you bank it.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you put a limit once you can carry over and bank, but.
Then you know you have it, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, it's a nice benefit to have. It's nice.
We're on to old business, all business.
Old business, new business.
In regards to the water fountain, Sasha gave me the price. Sasha said that she and Sherilyn wouldn't use it anyways. So I don't know, maybe we just take the water fountain off the old business list, even though it wasn't on there anyways.
What was the cost?
It was $28.50 for a water fountain. The cost of water being delivered to the office was $625 annually. But then, yeah, Sasha can tell us, she said they wouldn't use it because there's no filter between here and the town well or something.
Right.
Or with the school.
Has the water been, the school uses the water, don't they? What?
Well, that's because they make them bring water bottles now, and they, right? Do you bring your water bottle to school every day?
Not every day. Not to lunch at least because I drink from the water fountain.
You drink from the water fountain?
Cafeteria.
Yeah.
So, what's your thought, May, what's your thoughts on the taste of the water?
What?
What's your thoughts on the taste of the water? Does it taste good?
I like it better than the water at home.
There you go.
So, we have an end user.
I think it's fresher.
Oh,
There we go.
Thank you, Meg, for your.
Mike, what are you feeding your kids over there?
I don't know. I thought our water was great. But,
They're feeding
I mean, they
me
must-
vegetables, but the school, we only have to have one vegetables every single day in our lunch, and the rest we can have treats.
Oh, really?
And some days they have cookies and muffins.
Oh, good. I hope this guy gives you some treats every once in a while.
He only gives them at movie nights.
Oh,
it's pretty tough. Yeah.
invite me to movie night.
But, I mean, I'm sure they tested water at the school, I mean.
They have to.
it's
Yeah.
tested- They have
You're
to
like
test
water
it.
snobs, right?
Huh?
Are you water snob?
It's mostly.
Sherilyn.
I,
All right.
I mean, I'm not, it's not a big, but, so it's $2,800 to replace the water cooler. One shot deal, and hopefully it works for the next one, however they work. I don't know whatever happened to that one, and why the company hasn't
but the
stood behind it.
library gets, the town hall gets it delivered, the
Yeah.
garage gets it delivered, I mean, what's wrong with Moretown
Yeah.
Water?
I don't know what's wrong with Moretown Water.
I've never had a problem with
Yeah.
What's wrong with Moretown water?
Nothing. It's good stuff.
it. May, you just told us it was delicious.
Yeah, I mean, the garage, there's a spring right behind it, I mean, so if you take everybody that's, bringing water in, all our different buildings, it's 600 and something, is it 600 each building?
No, it's just for us.
600 here, 600 there,
Well,
600 there.
varies for each building, but.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what we want to do about that. But those are the numbers on that.
This is another great article for us to have your say.
yeah, we should talk about it, how you say that.